Hello and welcome back. We are looking at critical reflection, and by now you've likely identified what it is that you're reflecting on, and you're probably ready to start getting into some of those higher order thinking skills that I was talking about before. And with that, we'll be looking at the so what aspect of the critical reflection framework. So what is why is this experience important? So we're going to be reflecting using a few different criteria or prompts, depending on what you're doing right now. You might be choosing one of them, or you might be using all three of them. And so these three prompts are criteria number 2, connection to academic theory, criteria number 3, relating to other contexts, and criteria number 4, personal feelings. So a tip here is to start with one that feels obvious. Likely one of these will be shouting at you and you'll be able to think of something. Start with that one. We're going to start with criteria number 2, connection to academic theory. So what this is really asking is, how does this relate to some theoretical or scientific concept you have learned in class or elsewhere? Um, we're looking for you here to compare similarities and differences between the experiences that you've had and broader theoretical concepts that exist that others have observed. Be sure to cite the source when you're doing this. Whatever it is that you're relating to, whatever concept it is that you're relating to, we want to know what that is. So make sure you're citing that and you're connecting to that. Once it can be very refreshing when you have some type of experience and you realize that, hey, I'm not the first one to experience this, or I'm not the first one to observe this. It really grounds your experience. If you if something has happened and you aren't really sure how to relate that to some experience, a tip can be to look for a TED Talk. So you can YouTube a TED Talk in uh, whatever you've observed, and chances are there's some academic expert out there that has talked about it. So our next criteria, number 3, is relating to other contexts. This is often one of the easier ones, because really what we're looking at is to see, where have you had a similar experience before, but usually in a different context. So whatever happened to you, maybe you got in some argument with a group member, or maybe you did poorly on an assignment. Uh, where has something like this happened before, but it was slightly different? What we're looking for here is to identify what was similar and what was different. Think of it like you're making some type of analogy. Oh, when this happened to me, this was similar to when this happened at a different time. Um, Really, what we're trying to do here is abstract out what the key concepts are that were involved in this experience, and they'll likely be the same or they'll be opposite in this other context. Once we kind of see these abstract concepts, they become these abstract patterns that we can then begin to recognize and plan for, and help us to react in the moment. A tip here, you can ask yourself, have I ever had an experience where I was in the other role? So likely someone else was involved in whatever experience you're relating to. Maybe something has happened where you had different shoes on in that case. And the third criteria here for so what is criteria number 4, personal feelings. This one is one of my favorite, especially for engineers, because we often shy away from our feelings and we try to be objective and avoid emotion. So how did this experience make you feel? This will be particularly unique to you, and we want you to capture that. Why are these feelings unique to you? So think about your own personal biases, your values, your beliefs, or whatever your intentions were. This can be really, really powerful when you understand why you experience a certain event in a unique way. So some tips here. Um, Oftentimes, emotions trigger physiological response. Did your heart rate go up? Were you sweating? Were you excited and you could barely keep the words in your mouth? Um, if something like that happened, chances are there's some unique feeling there that you can unpack a little bit more, because these are really great cues. So the secret here, uh, as before, for each criteria, to explain how or why the experience is relevant to your learning. And keep in mind, practice, practice, practice. Some of these criteria might seem foreign and might seem strange, but as you engage with them and as you kind of work with them a little bit more, you'll begin to improve. So you'll likely be continuing on now to the now what criteria. Or if you want a refresher and go back to the what criteria, you can access both of those videos below. Thanks for joining, and we'll see you in the final now what video.